Hello and welcome back to the Strategic Transformation Podcast. I'm your host, Rosie Loos, clinical psychologist, mindset and performance coach. This is a very special episode. It's our first in our Legacy Library series where I take influential books, distill their most powerful ideas, and most importantly, show you how to synthesize them into your next chapter or legacy building toolkit. Today, we're solving one of the most common starting problems. I know what I want to do, build, or even just try, but I can't seem to start consistently or stick with anything when it gets hard. If you've ever felt like you're just not a natural at something and wondered how other people seem to improve at things while you're just still trying to get a quiet 5 minutes, this episode is for you. We're combining key concepts from two giants, James Clear's Atomic Habits and Carol Dweck's Mindset. In this episode, you'll learn the key lessons from each book that changes everything. From Atomic Habits, it's the 4 laws of behavioral change, a foolproof system for making good habits inevitable. From Carol Dweck's Mindset, it's the critical distinction between a fixed and a growth mindset, which determines whether you can separate the value of input from the outcome and see effort as something to be celebrated, regardless of whether it's successful or not. But here's the synthesis. You can have the best habit system in the world, but if you have a fixed mindset, you'll abandon it at the first sign of struggle. We'll fuse these ideas into a single framework, the growth loop. This is how you build habits that aren't just about doing, they're about becoming. James Clear's genius is in making habit formation an engineering problem, not a morality test. His core engine is the 4 laws: make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. For our legacy work or writing the next chapter of our lives, this is the how of your daily integrity pact from our last episode. It's the architecture. Step 1, make it obvious. Your pact must be specific, not work on project, but open document X at 9 a.m. Step 2, make it attractive. Bundle it with a reward. After my pact, I get my favorite coffee. Step 3, make it easy. The 2-minute rule. Start so small it's laughable. Step 4, make it satisfying. The immediate pact kept acknowledgement is your satisfaction. This system is brilliant because it bypasses motivation. It designs an environment where the right action is the most obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying one available. But there is a catch. This system assumes that you believe small incremental steps matter. What if you don't? What if you believe that if you were truly capable, it wouldn't be this hard or this slow? This is where our second book comes in. Carol Dweck's research centers on our core belief about ability. We either have a fixed mindset, so believing we're just born with a certain amount of intelligence, talent, and we're stuck with the amount that we have, versus a growth mindset, that we can grow and develop our abilities. For the legacy builder, this is not academic. Your mindset absolutely dictates your interpretation of struggle. A fixed mindset says, this is hard. I must not be good at this. Maybe it's just not for me. Struggle is the evidence of inadequacy. A growth mindset says, this is hard. I'm on the edge of my current ability. This is where growth happens. Struggle is the evidence of learning. Can you see the collision? A fixed mindset will absolutely sabotage the atomic habits system. Why make it easy and start small if all that does is prove you're not a natural? The perfectionist saboteur is a fixed mindset in disguise. It would rather you never try than try imperfectly. So we don't have to choose one. We combine them into a single self-reinforcing engine. I call it the growth loop. Here's how it works. Start with a growth mindset reframe. My goal right now is not to be perfect or even productive. My goal is to practice being the kind of person who consistently shows up. Apply atomic habits to the practice. Design a tiny, obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying action that lets you practice showing up. This is your integrity pact. Interpret the data with a growth mindset. When you complete the pact, the win is, I am practicing consistency. When you struggle, the data is, my system needs a tweak, not that I'm a failure. The loop then closes. Each completion provides evidence that you can grow, which strengthens the growth mindset, making it easier to design and commit to the next tiny habit. This turns habit building from a grind into a live experiment in your own development. The habit is no longer the goal. It's the feedback mechanism for your evolving identity as the architect of your next chapter. Now, this loop is elegant, but it has predictable points of failure. Usually where a fixed mindset or a poorly designed habit sabotages the process. So, let's troubleshoot the 3 most common breakdowns through our integrated lens. Breakdown point 1. It feels silly. One tiny sentence won't make a difference. The fixed mindset sabotage is that this is the perfectionist imposter alliance. They dismiss small efforts because they don't match the grand, talented vision in your head. They want the big, validating win. The growth loop fix is to remind yourself the goal is not the sentence. The goal is the synaptic rewrite. I am practicing the neural pathway of thought to action. I am building the hardware for trust. The sentence is just the diagnostic tool. This takes the focus off the outcome and on the process itself. Breakdown point 2. I did it for 3 days and then I forgot completely. The atomic habits breakdown. The system wasn't obvious enough. The cue was hidden. The growth loop fix is then, this is not a character flaw, it's a design flaw. Use the data. My system needs a better cue. So anchor your pact to an unmissable daily anchor. Some of my favorites from coaching are brushing your teeth, boiling the kettle for your cup of tea in the morning, engineer, but don't judge. Anchoring your habit to an existing one just makes it easier to get it off the ground. Breakdown point 3. I did it, but I feel nothing. It's just not satisfying. The missing reward. The satisfying law is broken. Your brain did not get a clear reward signal. The growth loop fix in this situation is to manufacture the satisfaction. The pact kept statement is absolutely non-negotiable. Say it with conviction. Do a tiny victory dance. The dopamine for completing the predicted action must be consciously triggered until the habit takes over. I used this when I was training for a marathon. Yes, I ran a marathon. I definitely didn't identify as a runner when I started, but to be honest, I always admired the tenacity and commitment of people who ran regularly. But I made the decision I wanted to run this thing, so I had to make training satisfying. In order to do that, I would listen to really good audiobooks while I trained, and I would not allow myself to listen to the books in between training. This actually made me look forward to it before I started looking forward to the training itself, independent of the plot of the book. I manufactured the dopamine reward until my brain could make the connection on its own. The habit became the reward. It's crucial to understand what we're building here is not just any habit like brushing your teeth. We are building legacy-grade habits. The distinction is in its purpose. An ordinary habit is about maintenance or avoidance, health or cleanliness. A legacy-grade habit is about construction and identity. It has 3 special attributes. Number 1, it serves a deliberate identity. It's not just writing, it's practicing being a communicator. It's not networking, but practicing connecting with others. The habit is a ritual that embodies the future self, the version of yourself you want to be. Attribute 2, it's a keystone habit. This one small practice done consistently has a domino effect. Protecting that 9 a.m. pact often requires an earlier bedtime, a calmer morning, a communicated boundary. It starts to reorganize your day around your purpose. Attribute 3. Its true metric is trust, not output. The primary measure of success is not word count or leads. It's, did I keep my word to myself? This builds the integrity engine we discussed last episode. The output is a byproduct of the self-trust you are cultivating. When you frame your pact in this way, it carries more weight and meaning. It's not a task, it's a ritual of becoming. So let's make this real. Remember Lena from our last episode, but imagine her before she came to me. She wanted to be a writer, which is a fixed mindset identity. She writes for 1 hour, fails, and concludes, I'm just not a natural. The habit dies. Now, let's apply the growth loop. The reframe, I'm a person practicing the skill of writing consistently. The Atomic Habits Pact. After my coffee, I'll open my document and write 1 sentence. I will then enjoy my coffee fully. Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Interpret the data. Day 1, pact kept, I'm practicing. Day 2, she missed it. Data shows my morning is chaotic. I will practice after the school run instead. The loop. Within weeks, the evidence is undeniable. She's a person who writes consistently. The identity follows the evidence. The writer identity is earned through the growth loop, not declared and then judged. So let's bring this home to the domain that you're really familiar with, motherhood. You've already run growth loops with your children. You just don't call them that. Think about teaching your child to read. You wouldn't expect them to read a novel on day 1. That's a fixed mindset trap. Oh well, they're not a reader. You break it into tiny, satisfying steps. A letter recognition, working out their sounds, their sight words. You celebrate the effort, not just the outcome. Growth mindset. You are the architect of that learning environment. You hold the belief in their ability to grow long before they can see it for themselves. Now we need to turn that skill inward. You are the child and the parent in writing your next chapter. Your job is to design the tiny, achievable steps, the Atomic Habit Pact. Hold the unwavering belief in your own capacity to grow, especially when you struggle, which is the growth mindset, and celebrate the effort of showing up, the pact kept acknowledgement. When you feel frustrated with your own slow progress, ask yourself, how would I coach my child through this same frustration? You'd be patient, you'd break it down, you'd encourage. That's the voice of the inner architect. The legacy library gives you the theory. Your experience as a mother already gives you the compassionate, strategic practice. This synthesis is where theory turns into wisdom. Action creates clarity. This is the alchemy of the growth loop. It turns daily friction into raw material for your evolution. With that in mind, let's zoom all the way out. Your legacy will be built through thousands of small actions. The growth loop is a psychological and behavioral operating system for that construction project. It protects you from the 2 great killers of dreams, perfectionism, fixed mindset, and poor systems, bad habits. This synthesis is what I mean by legacy architecture. We are not just borrowing tips, we are integrating profound psychology and performance learnings into a usable, personal blueprint. So, why does this microscopic focus on habits and mindset matter for something as vast as our legacy or the next chapter of our lives? It's because legacy is the sum total of your applied character. It's not a single act of genius, it's the quality of your repeated effort over time, made visible. The growth loop is the factory where your character is forged. Every time you choose the tiny, clear action over the vague wish, you are building self-discipline. Every time you reframe struggle as data, not deficiency, you are strengthening your resilience. Without this loop, you are at the mercy of inspiration and circumstance. With it, you have a personal innovation lab. You can take any inspiration, learning a language, building a community, starting a venture, and install the growth loop as its operating system. You are no longer waiting to feel like the person who can do it. You are using the doing to become that person. So let's recap. Atomic habits give us the system for action. Mindset gives us the belief system to persist. Combined, they create the growth loop, where tiny, systematized actions provide the evidence that builds the identity capable of legacy. Your legacy library experiment this week is to design one growth loop. Choose one micro action related to whatever you want to do in your next chapter. Frame it as practicing being a person who does whatever it is you want to do. Use James Clear's 4 laws of behavior. Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying to design the pact. Celebrate the process and the practice, not just the outcome. Links to the books are in the show notes if you want to go deeper, but your job isn't necessarily to read them. Please do if you have time, but the primary goal is to use this synthesis. Next time in the Legacy Library, we'll look at Grit and Peak, 2 of my favorite books, The Science of Perseverance and Mastery. But first, we need to master the growth loop. Thank you for thinking deeply with me. If this reframe helps, please share it. Remember, you are not building a habit. You are brick by tiny brick constructing the identity of who you are meant to be. To your legacy.